The first step that we're going to take to begin creating our Getting Things Done system inside of Google Keep is to create the labels that we're going to need. There are 9 different labels that in the Everbook, these were made into bundles, but here we're going to use labels so that we can keep our system organized. So very simply, we'll pull up Edit Labels and we'll create the first one. And I name it 0 so that this stays at the top of my labels list. And then I use a symbol, tilde, for this one, and it's going to be called inbox. Now you could also call it capture or something like that, but this is going to be where when I have something to jot down really fast, it's going to be a note inside of this label. I did not create it. All right, next one will be our next action. And the symbol that goes with that is the @ symbol. And it'll become clear soon why I use symbols. The next one, it's number 3, but we're giving it the number 2, so stays in the correct order. We're going to do projects. I like to use the $ for projects. Next up, we have project support. Now, because I use the $ for projects, I like to use the cent sign for project support. Now to do that, you hold Alt, this is on Windows, you hold Alt and press 0162, let go of Alt, and there's our cent sign. I like how the $ and the cents sign go together. Next is waiting for. I use the ampersand as my symbol for that one. Next is agendas. I like the pound sign, hashtag symbol. Then calendar. Then we have reference. I use the asterisk. And finally, someday maybe. So from this, just want to point out that the most important piece is that they show up in order. I chose to use digits here to keep them in the right order. You could use any number of different approaches to make that happen. The symbols are entirely optional, but I'm going to show you in just a minute how they can go a long way to helping us stay organized as we're flying around Google Keep to very easily recognize what something is or where it belongs. So I'm going to click Done, and we see my nice list of labels over here. Now, as you know, in Google Keep, when I click the Notes tab, which is what I'm looking at right now, this will show me every note regardless of what labels might be attached to it. And so let's do 2 things. I'm going to make one note from here, and I'm going to call it my capture note. So I'm going to call it quick capture. So this is the note that I'm going to keep pinned, so it's always at the top. And I use the tilde here, so no matter where I might see this, I know this is a note that belongs in my inbox. That's the kind of data that's on here. And just to put something in here, let's say someone walked in and said, "Hey, your dad called." And I'll say, "Oh, I gotta call dad back." That's in my quick capture. It's not in my system, it's in here. Won't forget it. Cool. Last detail. I'm gonna actually associate a color with inbox notes. And I like to use sand. Which one's sand? There we go. Sand is my color. So I'm gonna close that. I've got my first note. You can see it's here in the notes where it's showing everything, but if I go to my inbox, it doesn't show up because I didn't add the label. So let's add the label. If I hit this little drop down, go to add label, I want it in my inbox. Boom. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now it's here too. Let's make a note in next actions. We'll do a deep dive on this in the next video, but for now, we're going to make one called @home. These will be tasks that I will do when I'm at my own house. It has the @ symbol so that I can easily associate it. I was already in the next actions label when I created the note, and so it's already associating this note with the label. So I don't need to add it manually. That's good. And in this case, I also like to pick a color for everything. And for next actions, we'll do mint. Like a nice green. Green means go. Mint is a nice comfortable green. Great. Projects. Now, You might be thinking for every project we need a note, but that's not how getting things done works. And I'll show you that when we have a video that focuses on the projects. But for now, we're just going to make one. Use our $sign so we can easily remember where this belongs when we see it elsewhere. And we'll say projects professional. So I'm going to say, hey, these projects are ones related to work. So I'd like to separate projects that are related to things I do at home. And the color I like for that is peach. Where's peach? There it is, peach. Nice projects color. Now, project support. These notes are always supposed to be associated with something from one of your projects list. I'm going to create a project. Let's just create a project really fast so we can do project support. I'll say oil change for delivery van. I don't know. I am just gonna write that down so I don't forget. So there we go. That's a nice professional project. A couple things I need to add now. I'll go back to next actions, and I'll write. I'll call this calls. So I want a list of all the calls I need to make, and I'll say mechanic schedule oil change for van. I'll say delivery van so I don't forget. Easy enough. Mint is my color. This is my list of calls I need to make. Ta-da! Great. Projects, it's in there. But I say, I'm going to need to remember some information to help me get that done. So I'm going to go here and make project support. I'm going to use my little sense symbol, and I'm going to call it delivery van info. And on this note, I'm going to record, I'll just say info about van for oil change goes here, right? I'll say oil change for, I just call it that. There we go. I know what this is. And anything I need to know or remember, I can go here. Now, my color I like for project support notes is chalk. I think that's way down here. There we go. Nice gray. So we'll close that. Very good. Next up is waiting for. Now, waiting for I treat somewhat similar to projects, where I'm going to use my symbol, and I'm going to call it waiting professional. So this is anything I'm waiting for from work. And let's go ahead and add something to this after I pick my color. For this, I like to use dusk. Which one's dusk? There it is. It's a little purple. So my list is currently empty, but let's just have a little pretend moment. Excuse me. Let's say I'm here, I've got my phone, and I call my mechanic. I have a good conversation, and they say, we're not sure of availability right now. We'll get back to you. I say, no problem. I'm going to say, look, I did my duty. I called the mechanic, so I can take that off the list. However, now I'm waiting for, and today is March 12th. It's my mechanic is who I'm waiting for, and time slot for oil change. I'll say, I might actually specify it. Call back on. I'm waiting for them to call me back. I might just write call me back. There. All right, there's one entry on my waiting for list. Agendas is next. Let's go to agenda. Agendas are associated with either a person or an upcoming appointment or meeting. Let's just do a quick example. I'm going to add one here. Let's say I have another project. Many people have this project right now. Professional, I might say, let's do a personal one, actually. We're going to do projects, personal, and the first project I have is file 2025 income taxes. I need to do that. And I want my color peach. So I've got now 2 notes in here. Now the next step for this project is actually a meeting with my CPA. And so what I'm going to do is say, I need an agenda for that meeting. So I'm going to say I have an agenda. And I'm going to put the date that we're meeting. Let's say it's just in a couple of days. And you can do the date however you want. And then what else do I need on here? I need to know what this is. This is meeting with CPA on 2025 taxes. Something simple. And then in here I'll say, items I want to discuss, and I'll do item 1, item 2, item 3. Great. That meeting's coming up. I have an agenda. When I'm in the meeting, I'm just going to pull this up. I'm going to make sure I remind myself of the items, and then I'm also going to take notes during the meeting. Just keep it right here on the same item. The color that we want for this is fog. Boom. Look at that. It's coming together. Got an agenda. Next up is calendar. The calendar is going to be associated with a month. And so the way that I like to do it is you can do it as far out in the future as you want. But let's go ahead and do one for this month, March 2026, when I'm recording this. And for that color, I like storm. I wrote my notes over there, storm. So it's a similar blue. So calendars and agendas kind of look similar. And let's make another one for next month. April 2026. So let's also put that as storm. Great. Now on these, the way that I have been doing it is I just put the 2-digit for the date of the month that I have a task to do, or a project to launch, or any other reminder that I need. A hyphen, and then whatever it is. So this might say, I don't know, pay insurance premium. Simple reminder, log in, pay that, make sure I don't forget. And I can close it. Reference. Reference is for any information you need to keep long term. Maybe it's tied to a project, maybe not. We'll talk about that in depth when I get to a video on reference specifically. But we're going to do something similar, use our symbol, and let's think of something to reference. Let's do a reference of family colors. This is simple, but it might be, you could just do like, my color, mine's orange actually, wife, pink, kid 1, blue, kid 2. These are the colors we use for our family. Purple, kid 3, this is green, kid 4, yellow, kid 5, red. So this is a nice little reference. Anytime if I forget what someone's color is, I can come back here. And the color for reference I like to use is clay. Where is clay? There it is. So any moment, if I see that color, I know I'm looking at a reference note. Someday, maybe. These are items in the future. You haven't committed to them. You might do them, but they need to incubate is the word David Allen uses. I think that's a good word, incubate. And so very simply, I will do someday, maybe, personal. If I can learn how to spell maybe. And the color for this is coral. Where's coral? There's coral. And let's go ahead and make the corresponding one. You probably guessed what it is. Someday, maybe, professional. And we'll go with coral. Ta-da! So, we now have a fully prepared getting things done system all started inside of Google Keep. Now, one thing that you'll do, when you open Google Keep by default on a computer, or on your phone, or on a tablet, you're going to land here. And this is part of why I love using the symbols and the colors, because I can see all of this jumbled together, and I know what category it's from. I know this is a project, someday maybe, reference, etc. I don't need to play any games. You can do that if you want. It all depends too. There's some interfaces and displays where the colors are going to be quicker for you to recognize. There's other displays where colors maybe are not as dynamic looking, but the symbols will be easy enough to stand out. Whatever floats your boat. And the colors I picked are just the ones I prefer. You can do it however you want. But there you go. Thanks for watching. We're well on our way to getting a fully functioning GTD system up and running. Thanks for watching.